Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, the 7th day of June 2024. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're safe and healthy, and I hope your family's safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in this Friday morning, including food, shelter, clothing, as well as health, are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who are out here every day risking their lives to save lives. Those also picking up garbage to keep our places clean. Those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demand for these heinous industries. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, children in the streets of the United States of America, homeless, including veterans, senior citizens, and families, and millions of people around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today, I want to discuss Julius Randle. Having discussed the cap situation yesterday and made it very clear that the Knicks are going to keep Julius Randle, as we wanted to go forward and talk more about him and his importance to the upcoming season. I am very proud of this Knicks organization. 4 years ago, quick history lesson, was Julius's first year, 5 years ago, his first year in New York. He stunk. He was rebounding the ball. His stats looked good, but he did not make the team better. He did not contribute to winning. And when I heard Ian Begley report at the end of that season, in April or May of that year, 2020, that the Knicks were looking for a power forward, I was very happy. Even though I knew they could use a point guard, I was very happy to get a nice young power forward, because in my mind at that time, I had come to the conclusion that the Knicks were rushing for too many years to try to get rich quick, instead of rebuilding the right way. I had come to that time to the conclusion that we needed to just blow the whole thing up, whatever we had, start over with some young players, starting with a young power forward. And so Leon Rose drafted Obi Toppin that year with the intent of having him become the future at power forward. Even though Obi wasn't the top guy on my list that year, I had Tyrese Halliburton and Devin Vassell ahead of him. I understood, because I wanted a rebuild. Leon Rose also hired Tom Thibodeau. But Tom Thibodeau saw something in Julius Randle that the rest of us, most of us, except Gumby, didn't see. He saw a guy that could become a player that can contribute to winning. See, Tom Thibodeau is not about ego. He's stubborn. All great coaches are. But he wants to win. And so he saw the possibility that Julius Randle could become a winning piece. I definitely didn't see it, and I wanted him traded. And even after Thibs' first year, I wanted him traded. Thibs never gave up on Juju. Never gave up on him. And Julius Randle, to his credit, with all of the ups and downs of being in the most difficult, the heaviest uniform to wear in pro basketball is the New York Knicks uniform. It's the heaviest uniform to wear. That one, probably the Lakers also. But definitely it's between the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Knicks. It's one of the heaviest. And I feel like it's the Knicks because of the fan base and the hatred in the media toward Dolan, and then trickling down to the rest of the team, and the negativity, unfortunately, that Knicks Nation buys into. So Tom saw something. And he worked personally with Julius Randle. And Julius Randle, for his credit, put his head down and worked hard. And became All-NBA twice, All-Star 3 times. Has developed his game so that now he is a winning piece in the championship team. Or should I say, championship level team. I know there's still detractors out there that want to be negative. Unfortunately, there's still crackheads in New York. But I'm past that myself, and I'm past such people. For now, I know the Knicks have a championship level team. They just have to get healthy and get on the court and prove it. And one of the most important pieces, one of the two important pieces, aside from Jalen Brunson, is Julius Randle. Not just his stats, which are 2010. He's a 2010 machine. Even before he became a winning player, he was a 2010 machine. But it's gaining the understanding of where to be on the floor, spacing, gaining the understanding of where he can contribute to winning when he's not shooting the ball well, gaining the understanding of playing within the team concept, all of which he has done. And then, with the acquisition, now, beginning of last year, I was predicting 50 wins, but I wasn't predicting necessarily the OG Anunoby trade at that time. I thought that the Knicks could acquire him or Mikal Bridges. It was Mikal Bridges first, and I told y'all OG Anunoby last summer for RJ and IQ, and that's exactly what happened. I wasn't expecting to pull off that trade deadline. And the reason is because the Knicks and Rose don't like to make huge trades at the deadline. Smart. They make incremental moves, or Derrick Rose, or Josh Hart. They make those type of moves, or Cam Reddish, incremental moves. But they made a big trade last year in that deadline, which was an anomaly for them. But it was a great move, obviously. The Don being the brain behind the whole thing. Great move. And so, again, playing chess, he picks up OG Anunoby. And in 14 games, with OG and Juju starting, they were 12-2. And it wasn't even looking close. Like, they were steamrolling teams. It wasn't even looking close. Okay? So anybody still calling for Ju to be traded, I don't even want to talk to you. I have nothing to say to you. I have really nothing to say because I don't want to talk to somebody that don't know basketball. I've been waiting a long time to get to a team like this. We got one. Okay? And I am so proud of Leon, Thibs, and Julius for putting the time in to work together for Julius to bring the best basketball out of himself. So now, Juju, 29 years old, okay? He's going to be 30 at the end of November. He'll be 30 years old, okay? He's in his prime right now. See? So unfortunately, as part of his prime, he got a bad injury last year. It was a freak injury, okay? Freak injury. So it wasn't like he is injury prone. But at the same time, the way he plays the game, his style of play is physical. It does happen that guys like him, that he seemed indestructible. He plays 34 minutes a game, 35 minutes a game. Guys like him, that are indestructible type guys, as they get older, injuries start to happen. You start to see little creeping up injuries. I'm hoping that's not the case, and I'm doubting it is only because he's in his prime. 30, 29, 27, 20, that's your prime right there in the NBA. So I'm thinking and then he missed half of last season. So I think we got another 2 years of all NBA Julius Randle, which means this is our championship window. Brunson is win now. Julius is win now. These are the two most important pieces the Knicks have. And so everybody else around the Knicks, as far as the 15-man roster, is built around these two guys. I'm expecting Ju to come 20-10 again this year because he's a 2010 machine. I'm expecting the Knicks with OG being a very key piece to unlock Julius as he was in January. Once they get back on the court together, this team built around those three guys, and then you playing the Thibs style from the center position out. So you have the rim protector in Isaiah Hartenstein, and then of course Mitchell Robinson. So you have the rim protector, you have the offensive rebounding, you have the defense, and everybody else, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. All of these guys are ancillary pieces, important pieces around the core of Brunson and Juju and OG. OG is a core piece not because he's going to score 30. He's a core piece because he plays all-world defense. As you can see, he also built like a brick doo-doo house. He's not as durable, though, as Juju, but he's physical, and he can hit open three-point shots very consistently, and he plays with a high IQ. A beautiful championship piece. Okay, so Julius Randle now this summer working on his shoulder, and from all reports, he's progressing very well. Here we are, it's June 7th, and he's progressing very well. Okay, he's coming along. I saw a picture with Jalen Brunson in the Philadelphia Eagles football camp. He's a Philadelphia Eagle fan, bless him, but he had this cast on his hand. It's still June the 7th. I remind myself, it's still June the 7th. So we're expecting all of these guys to be back at work in terms of being prepared for 24-25, probably the end of July, beginning of August. And for these guys that are at their peak level of playing, at their prime, this is good. Because then they'll have August and September to get ready for the season, even part of July for some of them. And so Julius becomes an extremely important piece. And with all the BS noise out there, trading him for this or trading him for that, please don't pay attention to that. And I can tell some of y'all, somebody will come and say, I heard they're going to look at what you heard. From who? That's the key, y'all. Who is the sources of what you hear? Is it Leon? Is it Ian Begley? Is it Shams or Woj? So what you paying attention to it for? I heard. What you heard? Everybody, I get this every day. I heard they're gonna trade Julius. Really? You know, I heard I'm gonna hit lotto tomorrow, but I don't think so. So, no, the team's coming back. They might add a piece, like I mentioned. There's one ancillary piece now. Brooklyn has come out and put the kibosh on any Bridges trade. I think it's not just for the Knicks. Is it stupid? The Nets are wasting time. The Nets are doing what the Knicks used to do. They're just prolonging the agony. They need to just rebuild, but they're not going to anyway. That deal is over. So there's not going to be a Mikal Bridges trade. It's not going to happen. Okay, so we need to move forward. And again, an ancillary piece like a Caruso would be fine, you know. But if not, we good. We good. Okay. So yesterday, somebody, you know, I was explaining to you how Bodega could return. And again, let me just do it real quick. They renounced the contract before the 28th of June. They still owe him $2 million, but they saved $17 million. Then going into July 1st, they're below the cap. They're below the tax apron. Therefore, they have the 12.8, and don't you think the Don don't understand this? They have the $12.8 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception available. They have the biannual exception available because they're non-taxpayers, and they will be non-taxpayers. Don't listen to all this crap about, oh, they're going to go with both aprons. No, they're not. So, no, they're not. So now, as non-taxpayers, they can come back and sign Bodega. They don't have to use the whole mid-level exception. They can use part of it. He's getting $2 million. I think his value might be 10 for the coming season. So you find 8 more from the mid-level exception. Give that to him. Or even less. But I'm thinking 10 million. So you give him another 8 from the mid-level exception. Done deal. Okay? Or you could use that same money and go after somebody else. That, like I said, to me, the next best piece in that for that 9th spot is Alex Caruso. But there's a lot of options. Put it this way. There's a lot of options. And the Don doesn't limit himself to 1 or 2 options. He keeps a good handful of cards in his pocket that he can pull based on what the situation is. But the point being, they have options for the 9th guy. And they can re-sign Precious. Precious ain't going to get more than $8 million a year. If he does, he got over. He really need to get 6 to 8 for 3 years and move on with life. And the Knicks can do that also, as I said yesterday. So we could bring back the band. The band is really good. A healthy Jew. Again, the core, Julius, Brunson, OG Anunoby. That core. You bring that core back that was 12-2 in January. They're going to continue to do what they were doing. You'll enjoy your weekend. Please be safe out there. Shalom.